Alright, in this video we will be reviewing how to calculate an arc length to help you out with filling out that table that you're filling out. The purpose of doing this at this point will not become evident for a while, but it will be really good for you to have all this information when you go into your next math class. So I'm going to do an arc length for a 210 degree angle of rotation. So remember that when we're talking about angles of rotation, we start on the x-axis in the first quadrant, or between the first and fourth quadrants. Right here, this is 0 degrees. And then we rotate the radius, in this case 210 degrees. That, if we track this endpoint of it, that's going to sweep an arc around the circle. It goes all the way around here and stops there. So as a quick review about arc measures, if this angle inside here is 210 degrees, then the arc angle's measure is also 210 degrees. Remember that there are 360 degrees around a circle, so we can measure an arc in degrees, which means it's the same fraction of the whole circle as this central angle is. Okay, so we're trying to find the length of that, which we will call arc length, and I will use the letters AL to do that. Now, as we look at the whole circle, remember that an arc length is a piece of a circumference. And circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. So as I look at trying to calculate the length of the arc length, I'm looking for a fraction of the whole circumference. So my circumference was 2 pi r. My fraction is the number of degrees in this central angle out of 360 degrees. So this is the formula I'm going to use to calculate my arc length. In this particular problem, the actual length of that arc is going to be the number of degrees, which is 210 degrees out of 360 degrees, times 2 times pi times the radius, which in this particular circle, if we look at the scaling, it's 0.5 to there and 1 to there. So the radius of this circle is 1 unit. Since it's 1 unit, that is why we call it a unit circle. And a unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1 unit. I know, we're not very creative in our naming, but that's part of what we love about math. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so to try and solve for the arc length then, we're going to work this all out. Now, for this particular activity, we want to use the exact values, which means we are not going to plug the pi button in to our calculator. So I'm going to actually start by simplifying this fraction. I can divide 10 out of both the top and bottom and make this 21 out of 36. 21 and 36 are both divisible by 3, making this 7/12 of 2 pi. And now the circumference of this whole circle is going to be 2 pi because the radius was 1. That makes this 14/12 of pi. Simplifying that one step further, the arc length is going to be 2 goes into each of those. So I'm going to divide out the 2, and that will leave me with 7/6 pi, which we can also write as 7 pi over 6. You get to choose which one of those you use. probably you'll be seeing it next year more in this form, so that's up to you. So what we've just determined is that an arc of 210 degrees in a unit circle has a length of 7 pi over 6 units. I hope that helps.